Well, howdy, fuckers, and welcome to the Western Grunge Tape Deck. This week's episode is brought to you, as always, by Bad Decisions, that good old-fashioned red dirt country music that we all know and love, and the Molson Coors Brewing Company. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, Mr. Memphis Kee from Memphis Kee. He just put out a brand new album called The Dark Skies. It just came out last Friday, and he's here to talk about it a little bit today. Memphis, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. Cracking
Anytime.
a cold one, I see. Way ahead of the game. I got to catch up.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Always good to
lucky.
get to talk to y'all. It's the first time I'm doing the show, and I've watched plenty of them. So, yeah, it's
we appreciate it and appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just had your new album come out, The Dark Skies. It's been a couple years in the making. It's been a few years since your last album. How does it feel to get this album out and finally get it to see the world and get people's reception of it?
It's such a relief. There's been so much time and effort put into it. We had some delays. Some were just normal. Hey, let's go back and redo this. But some of it was tactical. There was a reason for it, and like getting Jamie Lynn Wilson to sing on Bewitched, and you got to adapt to other people's schedules, or working on the distribution deal. Want to make sure that we got that done before we put the record out with Edgewater Music Group and the Orchard, all that. Stony. So it's been a lot of work.
Amos.
And so just glad to get it out.
Oh, how was it getting Jamie Lynn? Because I love that song.
Thank you. So we recorded it just as a standard song, one singer, and then we get done with it, and I could just hear a duet. And I talked to Adam Oder, our producer, and he said, "Hey, I've got somebody to I can talk to you about that." He was like, "You like Jamie Lynn, right?" I said, "Of course, I have ears." Yeah. And so I got a call back just a couple of days later. He says she loves the song she's in. And then we started working on it. And she actually rewrote the second verse, which I was really happy that she did that. And she left one of the lines in that meant a lot to me. So just hearing the first mixes coming back, even before it was done, I was blown away. She's got that classic sound and just a beautiful voice. So we were stoked, and I'm still enjoying hearing it when it comes on.
That was one of the first songs I remember. You sent it to me, right? I think probably when you first got the mixing back from it.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like this is good. Jamie really Jamie adds to you, to put it that way. And so I was really excited for that one. I felt like it took forever to get it out, but you had your plans, and I think your plan worked out pretty well. I'm really excited to see where this album will take you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I had to make sure that we officially released it past January 1, since I knew that we had no chance to win Album of the Year once I heard Price of Admission. I was like, nah, we're holding this till next year. We got no shot in hell.
Well, it's definitely
joking, obviously, but it did carry it over. And so now that means that even though we released some singles last year, going through the whole thing again this year, the album itself will hopefully be in the conversation of people's favorites, at least.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, as you know, because I know you recently got to go to a Turnpike show. There's just sometimes you just can't beat Turnpike out, and
nope, but pretty much never. But
yeah, this past weekend, me and my dad, we went out duck hunting, and on the drive home, it's like an hour and a half from where we were. I put on the Red River, and I was like, I can't ever do this to myself again. Like I'm sitting here driving, like almost tearing up and choking up. I'm like, please don't talk to me, don't say anything. In a couple minutes, just process myself, and I did it to myself. But
Yeah,
that's
I
a very
remember
special album.
the first time I heard it. My dad passed about 2 years ago, and I got my love of music and writing from him. And when when it came out, I remember I was sitting at the table eating breakfast, and I told my wife, I said, "Hey, the new Turnpike song's out." I put it on. I didn't make it one bite into my breakfast taco, and I'm sitting there like this, just trying to fight back breakfast tears, because just same thing. We've all got our stories with our dad or even our mom or an uncle or something. And Evan's imagery, he paints the picture and you feel like you're there, and then you feel like you're in your own past too. And yeah, just a great record and great song.
Well, I was talking to Matt Moran one night on Twitter, and I put out a tweet and I said, I think a lot of people are drawn to Felker's style of writing, because you're not listening to somebody tell you a story. You're listening to your buddy bitch about his life in your garage on a Friday night while you drink some beers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that's what makes you kind of have that aspect as well. And I think that's what makes a great songwriter, and what I'm drawn to when I like listen to different songwriters is like, can I imagine you sitting in my shop on a Friday night at 10:30, bitching and moaning about your week and your life while I drink beer? If that's the case, then I'm probably going to be drawn to you because I like those type of people. Those are my type of people.
Yeah, it is. It's almost conversational. It's like Tornado Warning's got that, and I always love that the humor in there. Couldn't ask for better weather. I still laugh at that. Just it's real. It's how people talk. The house fire, even, it's like you can hear it in his voice. He's telling somebody close to him what happened and just how
Yeah.
much it sucked.
Well, yesterday morning, it was Sunday morning, I got a call bright and early about 9 o'clock, from my childhood best friend. He said, "Hey man, I just want to let you know, their house caught on fire Sunday morning." And, of course, he's like, "I don't need you to come out here or anything." Well, I can't, my best friend's house is on fire. I'm not going to lay there in bed. So I
Yeah.
loaded up and got Kendall, and we, drove out there. And of course, there's nothing we could do for him. We were just there for moral support for about 30 minutes while they finished packing stuff up. But when we were driving back, I asked Kendall, I said, do you think it's too early to send them the house fire and ask if they resonate with that song? She said, yeah, it is. So I'm just kind of holding back and waiting to kind of send them that one. Be like, hey, here's y'all's new song.
Did he have a Carhartt jacket?
He probably did. I didn't pay attention to what he was wearing. I know he was in his cowboy boots and shorts and just looking disheveled, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I got there and he goes, "I told you didn't have to come." And I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Lay in bed while your house burns? Like, I have to come out here and at least provide
Do
moral
something.
support."
Do traffic control or something.
Right. just I'm out there in my Levi's jean jacket and a Turnpike sweatshirt. Like, I'm just here, buddy. I didn't know
I'm
what else to
here.
do.
If you need something, holler. I'll go get you
Yeah.
what do you call it? McRib.
Yeah.
Get y'all some food or something. Beers.
There's a case of beer already in the back of the truck. I know it's only 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, but at this point, y'all want to drink,
That's funny.
Oh,
At least you didn't roll up just blaring,
no,
not fire or anything.
no. I probably should have, but I didn't.
I think
got one of the
it's one of those
songwriters.
things.
I got one of the songwriters from the record over here. Is coming out to talk to me real quick.
Okay.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, never mind. Just a little camera shy. What do you need? Huh? No. All right, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, I think that would be one of those things where in the moment it sucks, but afterwards it'd be one of those things that you could look back on and be like, damn, that was pretty funny. I know if that was me and my house burned down and, you or somebody rolled up blaring that, like, it'd probably piss me off at first. But afterwards I'd be like, damn, that was smart. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's
Did
all
I
I'm
tell
here
you what
for.
this sumbitch did?
Yeah.
Oh
But
man.
before we dive too deep into the new record, I just want to hear about, your very beginning, what got you into music, songwriting, all that. I know you mentioned your dad was a big aspect of that.
Yeah, yeah, that's something I just grew up. I mean, he listened to music constantly. There was never silence, and I probably picked that up too. I can't stand silence. There's always music in the background somewhere. I hate being on a road trip with somebody and we're sitting there, we're 45 minutes in and we're just sitting there. I don't understand that. My brain doesn't work like that. So that love of music and just needing to have it definitely came from him. He actually wrote a little too. He wrote a couple songs that ended up getting picked up by artists and a couple of jingles and stuff like that. But he was passionate about music, and I picked that up. I started playing bass probably around when I was in college, like 2001, 2000, and I was like a freshman, and um, it was more like rock music, like Chevelle, like it was like a power trio, hard rock, and I love playing bass. It's still my favorite instrument to play. I sang a little bit, and I wrote a little bit, but not a whole lot. I carried that on. We did that thing for a while, and that led me to Texas for the first time back in '02. Came down for South by Southwest. Fell in love with Texas, Austin. Never been to either before. And I have a song about it called Sixth in San Jacinto, and that's a 100% true song, everything in it. And like, there's a line, I yelled it right then and there, I'll spend the rest of my life here. That happened. Felt like I was in heaven. We're bouncing around. There's just shows everywhere. Every bar had some amazing show, and we're doing shots and we're eating pizza from a vendor, and just, it was just the best time for someone who was 20. I don't know, at the time then I was probably 22, 23. And sure enough, I went home, saved up some money, came up with a plan, and I was back there in early '04. And so I've been here ever since. Played some shows then, but I went to the police academy in 2005 and carried that career for 10 years. And during that time, I played a couple of shows, but the work life plus the social life I had of having a real job and having a little bit of money, not a lot, but having some amount of money, which I had zero amount of money before that. Having like a house that ended up being kind of like the hangout house. I kept my music room, but I didn't play anymore. Just around, and there was just always like, hey, Key, he used to be a musician, and like over time, I missed it so much, and I still went to shows all the time. Still a huge music fan. Just wasn't playing out, and I left the department, and opened my own private investigation company in 2015. And when I did that, I had some more time on my hands. I had more freedom, make my own schedule, and I decided I'm gonna hit up some open mics, and that's what happened. Did some open mics, was nervous as hell. I mean, somebody asked me, we did the Fox 7 morning show Thursday. They're like, "Oh, you nervous?" I'm like, nah, I'm not, I'm not. And I'm so grateful to get to that point, because even a few years ago, even the last time we did it, when Wimberley came out in 22, I was nervous as hell to get on that thing. And, eventually it just settled in. But even playing those open mics were much more nerve wracking than like playing stuff now on like a big stage or whatever. But it just slowly went from a solo thing to a duo thing, went from a free thing to a paid thing. The duo thing went to a trio, and it just built. Started putting out music, and people seemed to like it, and um, slowly assembled like the roster that is what it is today, with musicians, the band, and support. Um, we've got a nice team, producer, publicist, radio promo now, and it's just it's starting to come together, and it's very enjoyable right now. It seems like things are clicking and got a little bit of momentum, and so that brings us up to present day.
I want to go on a little rant here because I was talking about it with Kendall yesterday. You know, I was trying to do some booking. For those that don't know, I was trying to do some booking for Memphis Kee, and I really still believe in him, and I think that this booking should have been a hell of a lot easier than what it ended up being. But I was talking to Kendall, and I told her, I said, you know, one of the bars that I reached out to, you know, a little 500 cap venue that should have been like begging me to get Memphis in there. You know, they sent me a rejection email because they already had something planned for that time, and I went and looked and saw what they have time, and I don't even know the name of the guy, but he has that damn Oil Money song. You know what I'm talking about, Gage?
Yeah.
And Kendall never heard it, and so I put it on in the truck, and it's a terrible song. I'm sorry, it just doesn't take much to write that kind of pop country crap.
Yeah.
And she's like, they really told you no to Memphis Kee and then booked this? And I was like, yes, they did. They told me no to a guy that can write a fucking song and play a song and will show up and be engaging for a guy that we've made fun of by listening to the song on TikTok and streaming. Like, I guarantee you, like, that's not in anybody's playlist where they're like, oh, this is a good song. Like, you put it in the playlist to, like, laugh at.
Yeah.
And that is my rant, is that I wish that these clubs and these bars and these venues would realize that, like, go listen to the music you're booking and, like, look, click on their number one song. And when you see that it's a joke song, like Body Like Oil Money is, know that you're booking like an artist that people are making fun of and are not going to show up.
No.
Then go hit up somebody like me that's emailing you about an actual band that wants to put out actual music, and go and listen and be like, hey, maybe, you know, I know, maybe we can get 200 people to show up on a Friday night. I don't know, you know, that's my rant. I'm sorry. I had to, like I said, talking to Kendall the other night when we were discussing stuff, I was like, yeah, I was just ranting about that because I've never been so pissed off in my life was when I got that email that they were like, no.
It's frustrating, man. Booking is like the worst part of running a band. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Well, you know, it's so much of, and it's crazy. It's like I've now been on both sides of it, with, you know, trying to book for you and trying to book for Verdi Money and trying to book for some other people. Is like, I see venues and they're like, nobody wants to play anymore. And then you email them and they're like, well, we don't want to pay. Maybe we give you 20% of the door. I'm like, 20% ain't even gonna cover fuel costs to get there. Like, I gotta have this much guaranteed, this much of the door, and you gotta allow me to keep all the merch. Like, there's just so much that goes into it. And it's one of those things that eventually I pray for it every night before I go to bed, that Live Nation crumbles and America gets its small bars back, and the honky tonk scene comes back, because I guess I didn't realize how spoiled I was to live so close to like Tulsa, where, you know, it's kind of like, I presume how Austin is, you know, every night there's a different band playing some bar. There's live music everywhere you go. There's always something to go see, even if it's just a local punk band. I mean, I've been in Tulsa, been into metal shows. You know, I don't go to metal shows. I had no idea what I was doing there, but if somebody's making music they're proud of, I'm going to support them.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, Tracer, if it was someone we were talking to or if I heard it on another podcast, but they're like, you know, back in the day with Texas and Oklahoma, it wasn't you weren't asking your buddies, oh, hey, you know, when's your next concert? It was every single weekend.
It was,
who are you going to go see?
I know what you're referencing. It was BJ Barnum. Shout out American Aquarium. And what he was referencing was the first time he came to Oklahoma and Texas. And he came out here and he realized it was not like, hey, are you going to a show this weekend? It was, hey, who are you going to go see this weekend? And that's something that Kendall and I have talked about, because even growing up, I didn't realize it. And when I was riding riding the rodeo scene and going to rodeos every weekend, riding bulls, like, I never realized how much of music culture was ingrained in rodeo. But, like, after every single small town rodeo that we went to, there was a dance. Like, hell, I've seen Stoney LaRue so many times after rodeos just because he was playing a show and it was $5 cover to get in. But it's so ingrained in the culture out here of music, um, that you don't realize, like, when you leave this area and you go to, like, Missouri or Iowa or Illinois or wherever, that it's not that's not the culture.
Yeah.
Like, going to a show for them is something special. Whereas, like, for us, it's like, oh shit, I might hop down to the dive bar. They're having 3 people play an open mic tonight, playing a song swap, drink a few Coors Lights, eat a slice of pizza, and come home.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an actual living scene. It's almost like eating. It's like you're going to eat. It's just, what are you going to eat? Not
Exactly.
special occasion show, you know? That's a good point. That is
Yeah,
how
like
it
I
is
said, I
down here.
remember
It's everywhere.
Well, talking to my friends this year, you know, Kendall's got me more active on Facebook now, that I'm living with her, and she put out a thing that was like she'd seen 100 different artists this year, and I put out a thing and it was like I've seen 72 artists, you know, last year in 2025, and to my friends, like, that seems so insane. They're like, "Well, how do you have money to go to that many concerts?" Like, dude, I just go to, like, different places every weekend. It might be a $5 to $10 cover charge, but, you know, you go to see that $200 show or $300 show twice a year. I'm not even touching that. I think altogether last year for all the shows, not including Boys from Oklahoma, we're not gonna count Boys from Oklahoma.
Right.
All right. I spent $200 going to shows.
Wow.
You know, I mean, putting the Boys from Oklahoma in there gets up about closer to 400. But like I said, we're not going to talk about that. That's special.
I was going to say 4,000.
No, 400. Hell, even then, it's not that bad, you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny. There was a couple years ago, me and one of my really good buddies, we went out bar hopping for New Year's, and we're just bouncing around. It's our little like hometown area. It was in Denton, and all of a sudden we walk into one bar, and there is like hardcore like screamo metal playing. And at this point, we already got a pretty nice bus. We were like, all right, fuck it. Like, let's just sit here and enjoy it. Couldn't understand a single word that was being sung, but it was awesome. I mean, once they got done, the guy smashed his guitar all across the stage, and I was like, man, I don't know if that was a good idea, because as soon as he did, it looked like he just had a face of regret and depression.
He got
But
caught up in the moment.
Yeah, all the crowd was screaming at him to smash it, and so he did. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I went over to the merch stand and bought a couple koozies. I can't even read the writing on the koozies. Like it
Oh, it's in
has
that,
like that death metal
yeah.
like font stuff. And I was just like, all right, well, I did my part.
Hey, you got his at least first couple sets of strings paid for.
Yeah, right.
Whenever he gets his new guitar or gets that one fixed.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Yeah,
merch. When we have a good merch night, it can like take a decent show, and then you feel like, okay, we killed it, you know? Because I mean, we make more in merch a lot of nights than we do from the venue.
Yeah.
Hard
There you
crack
go.
another one.
Crack it.
But I was reading you got a write up with the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
And Josh Crutchmer, and I was reading that, and one thing that I thought was so cool was like after reading the article and then listening to the album, like I think you had said something about how kind of each band member went in and made up their own part to
Yeah.
fit it, and listening through, and you had said like you can tell if you really listen. And after a couple listens through, I was like, damn, like this just seems like a great, like really close knit group of guys that just together having fun.
I appreciate that. That is true. There's not anybody, not me, that's saying, nah, let's do the walking bass, or let's hit the one, bounce from the 1 to 5, the 1 to 5. It's whatever. I mean, they're great musicians and they know their instruments better than I know their instruments. And sometimes we might not agree on the first take, but if we all feel the same way, they'll go into the shed and come back out with something even better. And one thing that I do like, and everybody says their band is unique, and I'm doing the same thing now, but one way that I think we are is there's not a single person in the band, all five of us, that come from the Texas country or red dirt scene. That's not where we came from. So we haven't played in other bands that have done it this way, where there are a lot of players like First Call, Sidemen, that have played with 40 or 50 different bands, and that style spreads and the way they play the song spreads. And we do come at it from a completely fresh perspective with not being in that scene at all before this band. And so you'll hear a lot of rock and blues and all kinds of stuff in the music, because that's truly like where we come from. That's the stuff that we still listen to sometimes. And I do think that you could have several bands play some of these songs and they're going to sound completely different than the way that we play them. And I do like that.
Yeah, I think it was. I feel like it was fairly early in the album. I can't remember the title of it, but it was something about like UFOs. I think was in the title or something like
Yeah.
that. The
Pedro. Mhm.
I don't think it was Pedro. I'll pull the album up,
That's
but
that's the one that's about the alien abduction. But every song's got some sort of like skyward, celestial, stars, planets, moon, clouds, something in the sky. Every single song's got one reference to that at least.
it might have been All the Rest. Maybe I don't know. It started
Okay.
off like extremely funky and just
Yeah.
like way out there, and I was like, what's happening? And then like you just get into it, and I was like, this fucking rocks.
Yeah. Well, I love that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got really hung up on a $20 chain the other day.
Yeah.
I think I listened to that one like 4 times in a row. I was like, this is me to a T. Walking out of the house with a pair of Anderson Bean boots I could hardly afford, had to put on payments.
Exactly.
and a $20 chain hanging around my neck.
It's true. It's this chain. I mean, it's not 20, but it's like 120. And I mean, it's, you know, I haven't always worn one, and my wife got me one, and I told her to get me like the smallest one possible until I figured out if I even wanted to have one or not. And I wore that one to death, and then she got me one slightly bigger, and that was this one. And then I got some Tacovas, some ostrich, and I'm like, I got these nice $1,000 boots on, and I got this J.C. Penney chain on, and I had already told Spencer, the lead guitar player, he also writes, he's got a couple songs on the record. I had told him a while back, I was like, we need a balls to the wall, no breaks, no slowdowns, no let up, just guitar heavy from the get go all the way through the end. We need one of those. And then he started working on it, and we were on tour, and we were in Colorado somewhere, and we're sitting around one night. We're like, hey, let's work on that song. And he started playing it, and the guys pulled out their like travel instruments, and we're working on it. And that's when I started writing the lyrics to it. And I was just thinking about my situation, at the time, my cheap ass little dental floss chain and these brand new nice boots that I love so much. And then I tried to tie it in to who I thought that could be. And I was just thinking, like, there's tons of dudes that I worked with when I was younger, either working construction or working at a golf course, and they would get a little bit of money, and instead of saving it or spreading it out, they go buy one cool thing and just, and that would be everything to them. Because I mean, you can do that when you're young. And I was just putting myself in a position of like one of those guys who's working his ass off. He got his first little paycheck, and he's gonna go get some badass boots. He's still got a shitty chain, but he's gonna go out and just kind of dominate that Friday night, and that's what came out.
So, I don't know. It reminded me of the other day. Kendall and I go thrifting a lot, and I bought a necklace at one of these thrift stores, And it's just this little bitty, it's a silver chain, hangs a little triangle pendant on it, got a little piece of fake turquoise in it, and it was like $2. And Brooklyn commented on Kendall. She makes these videos when we go out thrifting, and it's like, come with us thrifting, and then she'll post them. And Brooklyn had commented on it and been like, we're watching Tracer turn into Tanner Russery right before our eyes, because like I'm starting to wear jewelry out and everything like that. And so I don't know, like when I first, when a $20 chain came on and I was like jamming it to the truck while I was working, I was like, this is just literally me just wearing random chains around that I pick up at the thrift store.
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah,
That's funny as shit.
I was that dumb kid who made good, decent money, get that paychecks, like, all right, let's go. I always wanted a gold chain for the longest time, and I ended up buying one like
Boom.
22 or 23.
Boom.
And it is like my most prized possession.
It's blanging. It's way bigger than mine. Mine keeps getting caught in my chest hair. I need to get a new one.
Yeah. Mine gets caught up in my beard, and I just shaved today and trimmed everything up, and it'll get caught, and I'm like, fuck, that hurts.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it does. It's
the
like
night I bought it, I was traveling at the time working, and my boss was like, hey, I'm gonna run up to the mall, get my wife a new ring. Do you want to go? And I'd already been drinking, and I told myself, I was like, this is a bad idea. You don't need to spend any money. And I ended up going and walked out spending a good chunk of money, and got back to the hotel and was like, oh, well, fuck it. Here we are.
Nice. That's funny, man. You were talking about getting it stuck and it hurting. I've got my mustache stuck in the microphone grates like several times. And you're literally stuck, and you can't delay. You can't just sit there like an idiot. You just got to make a decision then that you're pulling back. And so the whole rest of the set, there'll be like 3 or 4 mustache hairs sticking back at you out of the mic. That's and you can't be like, ow, it hurts. You just gotta tough it out and not say,
just
ouch.
keep going.
Yeah.
Tears start filling up in your eyes.
Just
it's
running
like,
straight down your face.
Yeah.
Well, we witnessed something that I had never seen before. We went to Born and Raised last year, and Silverado came out to do their set, and I know you're a big Silverado guy.
Yeah.
And the first song, you can't hear anything from Mike. I mean, you hear nothing. And he's getting all still excited because the crowd is singing to him, but he doesn't realize they're singing back to him because they can't hear him. So he ends up going over to Omar's mic and singing through Omar's mic for a song or two until they figure out the problem with his. But that always cracks me up thinking about that, because
he thought he was blasting out.
He did. He told me the next day. They played Thursday, and then we did a podcast with him on Friday, and we were shooting the shit afterwards. And he was like, "Yeah," he's like, I was excited. He's like, there wasn't very many people, but the people in the front, they were singing every word of the song back to me. I just didn't realize they were doing it because they couldn't hear me.
That's clutch crowd, though.
Yep.
I can't even remember which song it was. Was it like Paycheck to Paycheck? It was one of their more like popular songs.
Yeah. Luckily.
And it started, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then you just couldn't hear anything. And I was like, damn it.
Hey, y'all mind if I take like a 30-second and y'all could talk for a second?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're good.
Now they've added a second dog, I guess. It doesn't even live there. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to go inside and set up.
Okay.
If y'all want to talk,
you're good.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So, I'll talk about this. Kendall and I went to Kane's Ballroom here recently to see Silverado. Because, when Silverado's in town, I'm not going to miss them. And so, after they played their set, we got invited backstage. And we're hanging out, and I'm bullshitting with all the guys. As time has come, I've got to know all the guys better, and you kind of just become another guy that shows up. Like, in the Silverado world, you become family. That's the best way I can describe it.
You become an expired moon pie.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm back there and talking to Omar. He comes up, gives me a hug. I go over to talk to Caitlin. I'm talking to Tay Tay, and just standing back there, just waiting on Mike. Mike's out doing his thing, signing autographs, and his Sharpie runs out. And so he turns around, he walks back to get another Sharpie out of this like case thing they have. And he walks past me at first, and I'm standing there, got a cowboy hat on, got a nice little jacket on, looking good. And he walks past me, and then he stops and he takes a step back, and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I was like, "Well, Mike, when you're in Tulsa, I got to come see you." And he's like, "You don't move. I'm coming back." I said, "Okay." Well, in the meantime, he turns to Kendall to say hello to Kendall. And she goes, he's wearing this M&M's, like 90s M&M's NASCAR jacket. And she's like, "You're serving Lana Del Rey." And he's like, "Oh my God, thank you." And proceeds to just like I don't know, boss out with Kendall over this jacket. And then so we were told that if we wanted to get out of the front of Cane's, like we had to like leave right then. And so I was like, well, okay, like let me say goodbye to Mike real quick. And so I go to say goodbye to Mike, and Mike, like, he's still got a line of fans running around up front of him, and he's already signed my like record. They got a copy of Texas 42 that had them all, the whole band sign. And I go say goodbye to him, and he goes, "Are you leaving?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "We got to get back, man." I said, "They're telling me if I want to get out to my truck, I got to go now." And he's like, "All right, come here." And he gave me a hug, and then he turns to Kendall. He's like, "Oh, you come here too. You said my jacket was given Lana Del Rey." And I was like, I love this band so much.
Oh shit, that's funny.
That's like
It's
just
funny.
the other night.
A lot of people assume that every country band listens to nothing but country or whatever, and I like it when you get surprised by musicians listen to so much crap.
It's like just the other night I was telling Tracer how much I love this hat, but now I can't wear it anymore since I had all of them sign it. And I'm like, damn it. Like, I had to get my Mike and the Moon Pies hat signed by Silverado, but it's like, damn it, it was one of my favorite hats.
It's
Out
one
of
of those
rotation.
deals. They're such a cool group of dudes, and they're a lot like how your guys' band is there a bunch of buddies that get the opportunity to make music together, and they make the most of it. I think Cat, or Cat, you know what I'm talking about. Can't say her last name.
Yeah.
Cat Hasty, is that right?
There you go.
I got it right.
First time you've ever said it right.
Holy shit. She changed my point of view on bands writing music when she said, she goes, "I saw the Red Clay Strays, and that's a band that writes music together." And at the time, I didn't really know what she meant. And as I've like delved more into music and I've listened to more music, and especially like over the years, I fully understand what she is when I see bands like Silverado, Red Clay Strays, Turnpike. Like, it's a group of guys that get together, or a group of people. It doesn't have to be guys. I'm not trying to be sexist here.
Yeah.
But it's just a group of people that get together and make music that they love. And you can tell when it's a group of people that get together and make music that they love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what we try
It's
to
like
do.
what is it? Randy Rogers with a Roller Coaster album.
Yeah, that's a wild story.
Because
I
like
don't know that.
shit, probably half the songs on that album were written by the entire band.
Right. Oh, we're watching Memphis giving us a little bit of a house tour on his side.
Yeah, I'm in location number 3 because I noticed in the front of the house my my cell reception was pretty awful. So now I'm in it's like a Cribs episode.
Yeah, you're a little bit delayed, but we'll make it through this.
Is it any better now?
A little bit, yeah. I think you're on time with us now. That's the most important part. We don't really seeing you is, I mean, you're a decent looking guy, but seeing you is not as important as hearing you is.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Well, I feel like we haven't really given you the Western Grunge experience yet. So I feel like we got to give you the Western Grunge experience.
Yeah.
So, I got to ask the most important question that we ask. Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Single artist or band or
Yeah.
like an act as one?
You can put an act up there if you want. You can put a single artist. It's just like 4 groups / artists that you're like, they got to go on Rushmore.
If I was going to do one that's like within our scene.
Oh, no, it's your personal, man. You don't have to keep it in the scene. What makes you want to do music?
The very first band that got me to love music was 311. High school, got into them, saw them at a festival, had no idea who they were, and ended up in the pit, lost a shoe, left and immediately went and bought the album and wore that thing out. And since then I've seen them like 30 something times over the years. That's the reason I grabbed a bass. Their bass player, his name is Peanut, and he had so much fun up there. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to play music. And so that's why I started on bass, is that so I think they have to go up there. And then the first record that I got when I moved to Texas that I did the same thing with was Randy Rogers' band live at Billy Bob's. I listened to that constantly, every song. I had it on my iPod Shuffle in my patrol car, and I'd be working like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I was new, so I worked out in the boondocks. Like, I had a huge district because it was not that many people living in it. And so it was a lot of driving no matter what. And so I learned those songs front and back. And then I would have to say Turnpike, obviously. And then it would be a tie between Robert O'Keen and Hayes Carl. I think that would be mine.
I tell you, Hayes is a slippery slope. Because one day you wake up and you decide to listen to a Hayes Carl album for your first time, and you go, damn, this sure sounds a lot like how Evan Felker writes songs. And then all of a sudden you realize, well, Hayes Carl influenced Evan. And then you slip down that rabbit hole a little bit further and you end up with Ray Wylie Hubbard.
Yeah.
And you're listening to Ray Wylie Hubbard and you're going, God dang, this guy can write a song. And he writes, something like Drunken Poet's Dream, Snake Farm, something like that. And then you listen to his discography, and he's got Redneck Mother in there, and you're like, okay, well, I mean, there was some thought put behind that.
Yeah.
And then one night, Screw You, Texas, we're from Texas, comes on. And I told Gage, I said, I'd never heard this song. I said, I've gotten a little bit more into the songwriter stuff here recently. I was listening to like Hayes Carl radio. And all of a sudden this song comes on. It's Ray Wylie Hubbard. It's Screw You, we're from Texas. And I told Gage, I said, I ain't never seen Ray. I said, it's on my bucket list 2026. I'm going to see Ray Wylie Hubbard. Kendall and I are just huge fans of him. But I just imagine he like tosses his guitar behind his back and just stands there with a microphone. Screw you, we're from Texas. We got Shiner beer. Screw you. I mean, like, and it's like, it's like you sit there and you're like, damn, you are probably one of the greatest songwriters of like the past generation, and you still have a song. Screw you, we're from Texas.
It's just pure emotion and silliness, and he just stands by. He's like, yeah, that's what I felt like that day, so deal with it.
A funny quick little detour from that song is I bought this CD, and it's Texas Music Magazine, back whenever like they used to just release compilations of Texas country songs.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it and I flipped it over, and the very first song is "Screw you, we're from Texas." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't even look at the rest of it.
Gotta
And I was
have
like,
it.
"I'm buying it. It's $2." And I
I
played
got
it the
something
other
to show
night,
y'all.
and I was sitting in my garage just pounding beers, just like listening to it on repeat. I'm like, "I'm from fucking Texas. Screw you."
This is, let's see if it's gonna be too bright. There we go. That is a drawing that Ray Wylie did, and he mailed it to McKinley, my daughter, because we did a video. It was one of her favorite songs when she was like little, like a baby, was Snake Farm. And so I'd always like, when he goes, ugh, I would always like poke her in the tummy and tickle her. And so she would, do her thing, and it was funny. And so there was a video of us sitting on the stairs. My wife got it, and we're singing it. And she's got her little toy guitar, and it didn't go like viral, but it went like, within like Texas people viral. And his wife saw it and showed it to him. They reached out, asked for the address, and then a couple weeks later, this hand drawn on canvas, I guess it's just a drawing, shows up with her name on it, and he wrote the lyrics out. He even drew the snake and wearing a sailor hat. Like, who does that? Like, on his own, just to be
So,
nice.
Gage knows this. I got a Ray story too. Kendall and I went to a record store, and we were driving down there, and we'd been listening to like Hayes Carl, Ray Wylie. And we got there, and Kendall says, "If we find a Ray Wylie Hubbard record, we got to buy it." I said, "Okay." So we're getting ready to check out, and I'm like, the girl that was working behind the counter was like, "I didn't see you go through the new country bin, like the new, it's like newer records that get in used. So like, and normally there's nothing in it, but she's like, you should go through it." Sure enough, there's Ray Wylie Hubbard co-starring in there for like $14. And I was like, well, all right, I'm already spending way too much here. What's a few more dollars in credit card debt? So I get it, and I get home, and the next day we're getting ready. We throw it on the record player while Kendall's cooking dinner, and I just take a picture of it, and I said, Kendall said I had to buy this so we could be a Ray Wylie Hubbard household. And next thing I know, a couple days later, Ray reaches out to me and he says, "Hey, what's your address? You need to be a real Ray Wylie Hubbard household." So I gave him our address, and it got lost in the mail for a month. There's like a whole long story about it. Kendall and I have a bunch of inside jokes about this whole experience. And one day we get this note in the mail that it's finally here, and we have to go to the mail office or the post office and pick it up. And it's these two old posters that he signed from random shows, and they're our favorite additions to the collection now. It's like our prized possession. Our friends come over like, "This is our Ray Wylie Hubbard poster," and they're like, "Did you even go to that show?" "No," but he sent it to us specifically.
Yeah, that's special. What a cool cat.
And like I said, he's one of those guys that people don't realize like how important he is to the scene or to songwriters. Like he's your favorite songwriter's favorite songwriter type of situation.
Literally, yeah. I love that.
Sorry to ramble so much about Ray Wylie Hubbard there, but
no, that's a great tangent to go off on. That's a great one to go off on.
Just to finish out the old Ray Wylie Hubbard stories, I've seen him twice now. Once opening for Turnpike at Billy Bob's, and then opening for Whiskey Myers at Red Rocks. And both times, Tracer, I don't even think I've told you this, but I'll tell you now.
Okay.
Each time that he played Screw You, We're From Texas, he just stops playing and is like stomping and clapping over his head.
You did.
And it's amazing. It especially for me, like, okay, yeah, he's playing down at Billy Bob's. Most people are from Texas and know that song. And then whenever he was playing up in Colorado, like, there was you could definitely tell non-Texas people who were just kind of like looking around, and there's me just
a real song,
drunk as shit.
Yeah. Screw You From Texas is a real song.
There's me just drunk as shit in the front row, just raising my beer up, screaming it, and Ray sees me and points over at me and gives me a little head nod, and I'm like, Hell yeah.
Gage, we did have this conversation.
Validation.
This was a real
Yeah.
conversation we had. It was when you were in Tulsa for Hangover, and we ate at that restaurant, that soul food restaurant. And I was telling you, I was like, I just imagine he tosses his guitar behind his back and you're like, yeah, no, that's how he does it. That's how you're imagining it is how he does it.
That's funny. Nailed it.
So, getting us a little bit back on track and off of this Ray Wylie Hubbard Hayes Cargill tangent we went down. Welcome to the tape deck. If you've never listened before, this is about whatever we feel like talking about at that moment, with no thought put behind it. Gage and I share a brain cell actually, and when we get on here, we have to split the brain cell. It goes down a rabbit hole. So obviously Bewitched. We've talked about Bewitched and what a great song it is. So it doesn't count. But what is your favorite song off the new record? Like the favorite one to like play, or your favorite one that you wrote and you're just like, damn, like this is my peak. What is it?
It's obviously hard, especially when it's new. I think after a
Mhm.
while, you settle into what still feels like you're just very, very proud of it after years go by. Right
Mhm.
now, eh, I would probably, if I had to say one, it would probably be Hummingbird. Um, I really like that. But see, I've already even told other people that my I was very proud of like the symbolism in Black Butterfly, because that is all. It's a story of a friend who's had lots of tough times and a lot of, I don't know how to even say this correctly, but just a lot of threats for
Mhm.
attention. But you try to be compassionate because you know what they are going through, and matching it up where it made sense with something in real life, like the fairy castle cactus is a real thing, and it doesn't make nectar, and birds and butterflies are attracted to it for some reason, even though it can't do anything for them. And that's essentially the story of this person who's attracted to someone else that can never give them what they want. And so tying all that in, plus the fact that McKinley, my daughter, wrote the bridge, um, that one, I would have to change my answer and just stick with Black Butterfly. I think that one, I'm proud of that one.
That's awesome. I think
Yeah.
my my two favorites, because I can't pick one, would be Hummingbird and what is it, With Some?
With none. Yeah.
With None. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
back to back. Like those are two that really like stood out to me, that kind of like hit me. And then of course, you have Pedro
Mhm.
and a couple of the others that are just funky and fun.
Yeah. With none is already, we can tell, we've only played it live a few times, but we can tell now that that's going to be one of those that people that come to the show are going to look forward to that one. It's got that swampy, slightly slowed down beat. And I play a cabasa, so it's like this percussive thing with the beads. It does that every measure. I do that, and I don't even have a guitar on, which is a nice break for me. We had 0 songs out of we did a single, then an EP, and a full length. There was 0 songs that I wasn't playing on, and there's 4 on this one, where I'm either just singing or playing like the cabasa. And no, I'll probably end up adding some sort of a part to a couple of them, especially $20 changes, because I don't like being left out while everyone's rocking power chords. Like I want in there. And so I'll probably end up playing something on that. Um, but yeah, there's like with none, definitely one. Like the other night, our show, someone already posted a video on YouTube, and that's the one I think sounds the best from the other night. So I appreciate that.
So it's not my favorite song off of it, but um I always like it when artists bring it up. But being a kid, um, you tackle a tough subject in there. Um, And I think that really separates songwriters is when they can tackle a tough subject, something like school shootings, and make a song about it. Because my mom's a teacher, and
Mm,
um, I remember, when I was going to high school, it wasn't like that big. I mean, like we had a couple of them, but it really became like prominent after I graduated high school. And I can remember coming home. I worked at Walmart. And I got off at 10 o'clock at night. And I used to come home, everybody be in bed, and it'd be like 11 o'clock at night when I got home, everybody be in bed. And I came home one night, and my mom was sitting up because there'd been another school shooting that day. And she's just sitting there, and she goes, what do I do? Like, they're telling me I can carry a gun in school, but I couldn't pull the trigger on somebody. And we set up that night, and we talked till probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, just her and I just talking about everything going on in the world and what was wrong and what was right. And um somebody that's a teacher, school shooting started weighing even heavier on me because I started to realize that the mental impact that it put on teachers that weren't even involved, teachers living 1,000 miles away from where it happened at, how they start feeling. And so when I feel like I always, when I hear somebody tackle a subject like that, um it always just rings through to me because, like, I feel like my mom's being seen and my mom's struggles are being seen. And I want all teachers' struggles to be seen because, like, it's got to be a mental hell to be thinking into that every day when you go to work.
mm.
I don't have that now. Granted, I'm an appliance repair guy. I'll get into that in a minute. You talk about the song.
It was, eh, I wrote it as after Uvalde, and it was
Mm,
approaching McKinley's first day in public school, and something that should be really exciting and everything. And all I had was dread and just wondering, like, there's going to be a shooting tomorrow. There's probably going to be more than one. And all I can do is hope that it's not at her school because they won't let you just sit up there all day. I know I've asked. You can't do that. Um, and elementary schools, I mean, they don't always have, the cops, the SROs and stuff there for those. And bad guys like soft targets and all that stuff, especially coming from law enforcement and going through, they called it alert training, which is active shooter training and all that. Like, I know, what the bad guys are looking for. And all I want to do is go just park my happy ass out in front of the school and give everybody that comes up there that looks like they don't belong just a shitty look and try to scare them off or something. And you can't, and you just got to hope.
mhm,
And one thing I've always been told and repeated is hope is not a tactic. And so hoping doesn't do anything. So it just added to me feeling completely helpless to do anything to help her. And so I just took the song from the perspective of a conversation, just me and her, and then put it in context of this same conversation, how it should be, how it was when I was little, of having a rough date meant this. And now, obviously cranked it up a little bit. But what a bad day is now for a little kid. And just kind of being like, just like how bullies would have been treated when I was little, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's hard being a kid. And now it seems so routine. That's like, yeah, it's tough out there for being kids, man. They're getting shot up left and right. And like, how insane is that? Is the norm that we say things like that and think things like that? Well, yeah, I just have to get used to that, I guess. And it's like, it's not taking a political stance. It's not saying ban guns. It's not saying arm all teachers. It's not saying anything. It's saying kids getting shot is bad. And I've already gotten some feedback just online of people being, they make their comments, another Isbel or, something like that. But it's not, if you have a problem with being a kid, then you actually have a problem with just something else. and you're guessing what I think, you're guessing what I believe in to get mad and argue on the internet, because there's nothing controversial in the song. It's just, the idea of innocent kids being shot sucks and is bad. And so that's where that came from. And when I wrote it, I had a little scratch track on my phone. That's generally how I do it. And I played it for my wife, and she was crying on the couch. And you got to remember, this is our first week of school, and she's a protective mom. And she said, she didn't mean it, but she's like, I don't ever want to hear that song again. And obviously, over time, the sharpness of the song, and she wasn't expecting it. It wore off, and then we got in the studio, and I even talked to the guys. It's like, I don't know if this is a Memphis Key song or something I hold on to for something later. And they were unanimous and supportive and said, nope, we're putting this on the record. Adam, the producer, is like, I have this idea for this. Let's do it like an angelic harmony kind of choir for a bridge with no real lyrics, no real heavy instrumentation. It's just gonna, I don't know, build this feeling that we want people to sit in for 3 minutes. And so when it came out, it was just, I just thought a beautiful song, and I was so glad that everyone wanted to put it out.
Damn. My wife and I, we just got married back in October, and this
Congrats.
was thank you. This was a similar conversation that we had maybe a month ago. Was, once we decide to have kids and everything, like, when are they going to get their phone once they get to school, and this, that, and the third. That way they have a communication in case something happens. And it, again, like, seeing on the news of all the school shootings and everything that happen, like, it's horrible to see. And that, like you said, it's sad that it's starting to become, almost, it feels like a normal thing, normal occurrence. But after we had a discussion of, you know, if once we have kids, if something like that happens and everything, like, the worst thing that I could think of is just like you as a parent not being able to do anything.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's terrifying times that the world has turned to.
Yeah, it is. It
What
is.
what happened to having a bad day and getting pissed off and going out back to punch a tree or grab an axe and just start beating the hell out of a tree or something?
Listen, it used to be just pick up a case of Keystone Light and go in some more credit card debt and listen to some music. I don't. That's my way of dealing with a bad day. Crack another cold one. Thank you, Gage.
Crack. All right, I'm
I'm
gonna go
going to
grab
the
one.
bullpen
Y'all
tonight.
making me thirsty. Stand by.
Stand by. We're getting Memphis. Drink one.
Yeah, I went to the. This is a bullpen
Mm.
episode. I've had some Keystone, some Michelob Ultras, some Deep Eddy vodka drink that was in my fridge, and now I found a random Coors Light just rolling around. I'm like,
I'm
whatever I
drinking
can
a.
grab.
I'm drinking a Miller Latte tonight.
There you go. Oh, I heard the crack.
Heard the crack. I wonder if he's got his guitar with him. Get him to play us a couple tunes. Oh, he's
Look at
got
that.
it.
I do.
He's got it. Oh, well, we're an hour and so into this. So the people are still listening, which we know they are, because one of our metrics was like, we are like the most completed episodes. Like, people are the people who listen to this complete the episodes.
Wow.
So if you wanna play us a song, here off the new album, your
Yeah.
pick. You play whatever you want to play.
Sure. Maybe maybe I'll do Being a Kid, since we were just now talking about it.
Do it.
Let's do that. If y'all want to hear a sad ass song.
We'll have you play that one, and then we'll take a little talking break, and then we might have you end it with $20 chain. Keep it happy around here.
Sounds like a good idea. Hey, baby girl, are you doing okay? Heard it was a rough one, school today. You fell on the playground, you skinned your knee. Friends didn't ask you to go with them when they jumped on the swing. But your teacher said you helped a friend when a bully had started him. You walked straight over, threw your arm around your little friend. We're so proud of you. School can be real hard. As much as I want, I can't always be your bodyguard. I know you'll make it through just like I did. It's just hard sometimes being a kid. Hey, baby girl, are you doing okay? Heard it was a rough one, school today. Another shooter showed up, but he didn't get you this time. 3 of your friends went down as they were waiting in the lunch line. But your teacher said you helped a friend when you saw that he got hit. He was bleeding out till you tied on your little pink tourniquet. We're so proud of you. School can be real hard. As much as I want, I can't always be your bodyguard. I know you'll make it through just like I did. It's just hard sometimes being a kid. We're so proud of you. School can be real hard. As much as I want, I can't always be your bodyguard. I hope you make it through just like I did. It shouldn't be this hard being a kid. Being a kid.
Yep.
I need a
I
drink
will
after
say,
that one.
yeah,
no, for sure.
I forgot to mention it earlier, but listening through the
Yeah,
record and then like just now, it's almost like whenever I hear your voice and the band and everything, it almost sounds like Lucero in a sense. Just a deep,
Ooh.
gravelly tone. That
Memphis,
was my first thoughts.
Tennessee. They're also from Memphis.
Yeah.
So, one of my things,
Thank
Ring of Lucero, I've never got to say this on the podcast. Was I listened to, of course I listened to American Aquarium first. And then Lucero was brought to me and I was like, this is just BJ Barnum that sounds different. I don't know how else to explain it. Like they're the same person. BJ's just singing in a different voice.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
I think my introduction to Lucero was whenever they released "Hey Darling, Do You Gamble," and it was played on the radio quite a bit in the DFW area. And like maybe a month or 2 months ago, it popped in my head. So I need to go back and listen to that song, and I have not stopped listening since.
That's
This is
badass.
kind of off topic, but one of the things that cracks me up is that we talk about American Aquarium and um out in Raleigh, North Carolina, where they're from, they're considered a rock and roll band. Like they're a rock band. And then you come here to the Oklahoma and Texas scene, we're like, oh, you guys are country. And that's one of the things is like uh Memphis Key, when you guys get out into the world, to everybody else you're a rock band. But
Yeah,
back here in home, you're a country band. That's what we come to
absolutely.
expect. And your album, talk about your album real quick. You structure it in a way, and I realized this after talking to Trenton, our buddy Trenton Fletcher, um, is that Soul Gravy by Cross Canadian Ragweed perfected the perfect Red Dirt album, where they went country, country rock, country, country rock, country, country rock, and it's this pattern of where there's country songs and there's rock songs. And I was talking to Trenton after I listened to his album, and I was like, man, like, you do this perfect job of keeping it like country and rock and everything. And he's like, I followed the Soul Gravy pattern. And it made me take a step back and realize that, like, since Soul Gravy came out, that a lot of albums that I truly love follow the Soul Gravy pattern, where it's like a country song or rock song, couple country songs, rock song, and it keeps you listening to it, and it doesn't make it appear like, there's some albums that you listen to that are like all country, and you're like, well, this is a B-side track. You kind of threw this in here just to get you by and make an album. But
Yeah,
with our realm, it's like every song is good. It's just how is it presented? Is it going to be a rock song or is it going to be a country song? And we accept everything,
yeah.
because we don't know the difference between country and rock. We kind of throw them together and hey, that's fucking Red Dirt.
There you go. I like that. I mean, there was no specific pattern to follow that, but the
Mm-hmm.
idea, 100%. It's a story, but it's, I don't want to go too many ballads or too much of this. Pretty much all of that. It's going to be a good mix. We want to keep the tempo change. We even look at the keys. We don't want to, play three songs in G back to back, especially if they're train beats or something. So it's kind of like that. And one thing is, we ended Wimberley with our like cocaine bender rock song, and so I think that might be a tradition now because we did it again with $20 chain. Um, and so I guess looking back, we do have a similar formula. It's you want two or three your strongest up front,
Mm-hmm.
and then you want to start paying attention to moods and story and what's going to keep people not switching on to oil money.
Yeah. Goddamn oil money. Oh man. Yeah.
Eh, Tracer, I kind of think you have a body like Oil Money.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I don't know. As Kendall asked me the other day when we were listening to the song in the truck, what the fuck does that even mean? What's a body like oil money? I don't know. I've never had money. I've never had oil money. I don't know.
I have no idea what that means.
I don't. But what I can tell you is I do know what a lot of your songs mean. I know what it's like to have a $20 chain. I've had the same fear of what you talked about in being a kid. I've had the Dark Skies is another good one. I mean, I can relate to that. I can't relate to oil money. But
Yeah, there's stuff in there. It's just life, like Bewitched is just about getting away with, the woman you love and keeping it simple. And I'll Come Running. Spencer wrote that one, and it was right before he met his girlfriend. And the way he says it, he had this premonition and that he was going to be there for her no matter what, and that came true. Like that conversation happened, and that's what that was. Hummingbirds, like Forbidden Love, meeting someone at the wrong time, and with None, we wrote that on the road in Iowa after Jake, our former utility player, we love him still. It was just he's got his own songwriter thing going on, and so he wrote the riff to that. And we were in a condo in Okoboji, Iowa, and there was a bartender at the place that we played that night who made a comment. It all came. This whole song came from a comment, and she just said, like, we said, I got to pack the van and get the hell out of here. She's like, take me. It was just like a small town, get me out of here vibe.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, I mean, I hope she never hears that song and thinks that I actually think those things about her or assume that, because it's not. It was a starting point to this imaginary story about getting out of the small town and blah blah blah. And essentially, every song there has got some truth to it, and it's something that's, I think, relatable. Other than, well, I guess we all still have a crazy family member like Pedro talking about they got abducted by aliens. You know, everyone's got that family member. So even that.
So before we start wrapping this up or anything, I want to bring up my introduction to you. And the first time I ever had any interaction with you was about 3 years ago. I had a playlist called Western Grunge Good Ass Music Playlist. Because I didn't realize Spotify put playlist after you already put playlist. And it kind of became a joke. It was the Western Grunge Good Ass Music Playlist. And I threw it up on Twitter one night and I said, what song should I add to it? And I was living with my parents at the time, and I was sitting out on the back patio, and I was just listening to whatever people posted. And you came across there, and you said, I don't want to do any self-promotion, but we just put out this album, Wimberley. Little Rock is a Fine Town is a song I think you'll enjoy. And I put on Little Rock is a Fine Town, and that has become one of my favorite songs. I kid you not. I make the joke anytime anybody talks about Little Rock. Oh, I heard Little Rock's a fine town. And it almost reminds me of sometimes when you listen to as much music as like I listen to or Gage listens to or any of us here at the tape deck listens to, you create a story in your head. And the Quaker City Nighthawks, which were my first ever Mercury show, Mercury Lounge down there in Tulsa, they have a song called Suit in the Back. And in my mind, Suit in the Back and Little Rock's a Fine Town just play perfectly together. It's such a great song. It's just a silly song. Little Rock, hell, it's a fine town.
Fine town. If you're passing through.
Yeah, if you're passing through.
Yeah. As someone who's been there and stayed a night or two there,
it's a fine.
It's better
town.
if you just pass right through.
Fine.
But that was my introduction to you, and I'm so glad that life has come about, and we have this podcast now, and we have this ability to sit down and watch your growth as an artist and as a musician continue to grow. And it's just like a full circle moment kind of for me, because that was back when I was still growing myself and trying to figure out my place in this. The podcast was still 2 years away. The playlist had like 100 followers on it. It's got like over 1,200, 1,300 now. So
congrats
it's
to
just
you.
a beautiful thing to watch blossom.
Yeah. I love what y'all have grown. That's why I've been drawn to y'all. It's about passion, and that's what I like, the underdog and passion, and people that they put in the work and do it. Not just, I see these guys, like these musicians that they may have played 15 or 20 shows ever, and they're already posting like TikToks where they're kind of they're trying to get like sympathy shares. They're like, well, I still haven't had my viral moment yet. It's like, get out and learn how to be better. Write a better song. Find people around you that make you better, and then be really uncomfortable. Go play for shit money at a shit bar and do a shitty job, and do that for a while, and then you'll get better, and then your money gets better, and then everything gets better. But it's like, it's become normal just to expect that everyone gets a viral moment, and I'm getting sad over here in my corner that I haven't gotten mine yet. And I don't know.
We talked to Cole Phillips, and Cole Phillips kind of changed my mind on a lot of things. And because Cole had a song that went viral, and he came on with us and he talked to us that day during Born and Raised, and he's like, I don't want to be known for that song. Like, I know that song went viral, it became something that I don't even know what it became. He said, but at the end of the day, I'm a songwriter. He's like, I look up to these Red Dirt guys. I want to be just like them. I want to be writing good songs. I want to be, and he truly has become that without being fully involved in the scene. And Cole has become one of my favorite artists. I mean, I love him. But
A great
like he
attitude to
said,
have.
right? He said that he's like, I'm not writing songs for TikTok. If TikTok pops off, then so be it. But at the end of the day, I'm writing a song that I hope helps somebody. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing against it going viral. I think it's more of the expectation that when's
You
my
have
turn to
to.
go viral? You got to make it
Right.
happen. Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah. I have two quick stories to share, and I know one story is probably any longtime listener of this podcast is probably sick and tired of me telling it, but I'm gonna tell it again. First one is a good example of that whole like you got to spend years and years in the dive bar. Like you have to learn how to work a crowd and do this. Learn how to get comfortable with your instrument, and if you have other guys playing with you, get comfortable with that. Bailey Zimmerman, there at the beginning, like he hadn't played any shows, popped off on TikTok, playing at these festivals, and just doesn't know what to do. Sounds horrible, and just everything was downhill. I mean, I couldn't get on TikTok without seeing several people just roast him. And now he's learned, and he has his thing going on. It's not my style of music, but I can appreciate it for what it is. He's definitely gotten better and learned over the years. But the other thing is Parker McCollum has always said it best. Whenever he wanted to get started, his brother told him, "Hey, go play 30 shows in 30 days and then come back and tell me that you want to do this for a living." And so he did, and he played 20 some odd nights out of those 30 to nobody but the bar staff, and to come back and be like, "Yeah, this is what I want to do," and stuck through it, and now look at where he's at.
Yeah.
Like you
He
have
earned
to
it.
put in you have to put in all that work, and you really have to learn, what you're doing, working the crowd, getting comfortable with your instrument, other bands' instruments, and, just fighting through it.
There's so many things that no one's ever going to even think to tell you about, like changing over between bands or communicating with production or how to talk to a sound guy without pissing them off, because they're very easy to piss off.
They
And
know everything, so
they
we've
know
been told.
everything. And like, there's I started, my first show was October 28th, 2001. It was the first time I ever played for a crowd. And during that time, I did take some time off, but during that era, and then after, when I first started doing the duo thing, I was playing every weekend. I was playing most times Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then if I could get a brunch Sunday, I would do that too. I was playing anywhere that would take me. And I know that at some point that becomes a negative way to do things. You don't want to play too much in your hometown once you've started to establish. But at the beginning, you need the experience, you need the money, you need all of that. During those eras, I played so many terrible shows, terrible rooms, terrible crowds, terrible staff, whatever. I mean, I had a guitar player in my first band quit the band during a show on stage. Like shit like that. If you play enough shows, weird things will happen. And it teaches you though you won't be completely caught like a deer in headlights when things go wrong. When you break a string, when your microphone cable goes out and you can't even figure out what's going on. You can't just stop. You need to do something. And you can't learn that stuff watching YouTube videos or being on TikTok or whatever. You just have to get out and do it. And that is true. Go play a bunch of empty rooms for a month and see if you still like it. And a person that probably will make a success out of it won't be the same person on the first show as they are on the 10th especially not the 30th. They're going to learn somewhere. Your fingers are going to hurt, but you're going to learn. And I think that, yeah, that's great advice.
And that's like, especially nowadays with Live Nation and everything, like a bunch of these smaller bars and listening rooms are shutting down because they can't get anybody to either have go play there or have people show up. And I feel like I've seen over the past year or two, like open mics are starting to dwindle down more and more. Not as many open mics, and like that's kind of really where it all starts, because you're not just playing in your bedroom, you're playing two people.
Right.
Granted,
Well,
who knows if they're listening or not, but it gets you out in front of that crowd and start getting more
It's a
comfortable with that.
step in the right direction.
I want to encourage everybody that's still listening to this to go listen to Gage and I's episode with Max Stalling. Because I asked a question that I didn't think was going to be that big of a question when I asked it. I asked Max, I said, how has it changed since you started? Because he's, no offense to Max, if you're listening to this, you're one of the older artists we've had on this show. Normally it's a younger artist, younger crowd. And I just wanted to know how it changed, and you really brought some fresh perspective into it and really told us, like, 20 years ago when you started, you relied on radio, or you relied on this, and now you can write a song, record it in one night, and have it up on Spotify. But it's how the game changes and how you have to adapt to how the game changes. And Max did a really great job of just walking Gage and I through that, of like, you have to learn how to play the game, and you have to know, and that's kind of what we're talking about now, is you got to know how to play the game when the game comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rules will change, and you can keep playing by the rules from 1998, or you can bow out, or you can adapt.
So on my Apple repeat, Jason Boland has a song that's on repeat, and it's the last Hank. I think it's the last Hank Williams is the name of the song. And he talks about the rules have changed halfway through it, and essentially what we're talking about now is you figure out a way to do it, and the rules are going to change halfway through it. So
yeah, absolutely true.
I think that,
and that's when it helps to have a good team, because
right,
running, driving the boat, piloting the plane, whatever, you're doing that, and you lose sight on a lot of things, because you wake up and you've got 6 emails and a couple of texts, and then you've got the ones from yesterday that you didn't get to, that you got to start with, and you're just treading water a lot of times. So being proactive and looking at trends, or figuring out, why should you be posting a 30-second reel as opposed to a 90-second reel, or original music, or whatever. I don't have time to give a shit about that. I want to, but I don't, especially when I have a family, and my family time is my family time, and I want to keep it that way. And like, it helps when you can start to get just a little bit of momentum, where you can be, gathering people who say, I like what y'all are doing, and I want to be a part of it. And then you get more eyeballs, you get more brain power on it, and it does help to adapt. Like right before this, my tour manager called, and he had a really good idea. And, literally at 5:52, and he sounded excited. Normally I'd be like, I'll call you later. And he's like, hey, my brother, hold up. And he had a great idea. He's like, hey, I want to come up with a system to record every single live show that we do. For many reasons. One is to debrief. If we had an issue with a song and it happened 2 or 3 nights in a row, well, we need to figure out what it is. Or, we get a bunch of good takes. Guess what? We've got a live record that we could put together.
right.
We have a good reference for set times, all this stuff. And it's not like that's an idea that no one's ever come up with, but I don't think of some of the details, because I'm just trying to get to the gig and make sure everything goes okay. And so when you get a team of people that believe, and they're sitting at home, even though they don't have to, and they're like, what can I do today, to help a little bit? it's such a huge boost. And so that's been a big thing, is surrounding myself and the band with people that believe in what we're doing and they got a good head on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One last thing I want to wrap up this little part of, going back to the whole TikTok thing and post an original song or a cover and whatnot. Gracie York, whenever we had her on, she was talking about how whenever the eclipse happened, like what, last year, 2 years ago,
Mm,
she posted a song of just, Zach Top, whatever his song is, of here's the sun, here's the moon,
mm,
with that sound in it, and it blows way the hell up. Or you can post a cover of you playing some song and it goes viral. But then it's like all your original stuff, it doesn't. And what I hate so much about TikTok, and I'm guilty of it too from time to time, is you're scrolling, you're like, oh man, I really love that song. But then you realize this person also has their own music and everything. So it's like you gotta go and dive into their stuff. But just with how TikTok is, it's 3 to 5 second attention span. And if you can
yeah.
hold them for that long, good luck trying to get them to go through your page and
Yeah.
find your original music to then go check it out and share with their friends. It's so bad. And like I said, I'm guilty of it from time to time. I try not to be, but
Yeah.
it's
It's less than
it's
that.
rough. I hate social media.
We did a full meta ads spend for the record and the release party. And one of the metrics, the main metric to gauge performance, this is directly from the Meta Business Suite, is getting 2 seconds. And that was a good thing. And I'm thinking, I'm spending $500 on here to try to get a small percentage of people to listen to or watch 2 seconds of a 35-second ad that I edited, then paid $500 to get on. And my goal here, according to the largest social media company in the world, is we're going to try to get 60% of the people to watch this video for 2 seconds, and that'll be a victory. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? I feel like I should rent like a airplane with one of the signs behind it. That would be better money spent or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Trigger Saving Country Music released an article about it, and we have had our own opinions behind it behind the scenes. And I won't share all those opinions because we all have strong opinions regarding Trigger. He can write a hell of an article. That's what I'll say about the guy.
He's good at his job.
He's good at his job. I'll say that much. I got nothing but yeah. Let's leave it at that. But that's something I thought about when he was talking about his stuff. Is Gage and I, we've been at this now for almost 2 years. Tape Deck's been around for 2 years at this point. We've never once gotten asked for money from artists to be on the show.
It'd be nice if you want to send us
Yeah,
a nice donation, then absolutely.
I would have much rather
absolutely.
given y'all the $500 than Facebook.
Right. But we just about the music, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, is we just want to see our favorite artists grow.
Yeah. Well, y'all are
And
helping to do that.
And not to mention it may sound selfish, but just the chance to sit down and talk with like yourself and just so many different artists and build a connection. And
Oh,
I know
God.
I've met several artists through here that I can still talk to, shoot a text to, call, DM today, and they'll pick up. So it's
Yeah.
it's awesome. Music saves lives for
We
sure.
appreciate that
Sure.
support. People that are doing what y'all are doing, y'all are helping to get this stuff that we believe in so much. Y'all are getting that to more people, and you're turning people on to what we're doing. And so you'll probably always have people that will take your calls and take your texts because they truly appreciate that this is something that you've chosen as your passion. And it helps those people find new music. It helps us find listeners. And hopefully this little ecosystem can keep doing big things.
Well, I think, Gage, I want one more song before we wrap up. So,
Absolutely.
Memphis, I'm gonna leave it up to you. Whatever you feel like playing us, man. Play us one more song and then we'll wrap it up.
Cool. I think I'm gonna do All the Rest.
Okay.
She said she's through with me. I on my back. Is it time to fight for us? Is it finally time to pack? I don't know what to do. No idea what to say. All out of answers and no one's listening when I pray. Love only got us so far. 15 years down the road into permanent broken hearts. Goodbye, my love. I wish you the best. Well, I'm thankful for the good times. I'm so sorry for all the rest. I ain't over you yet. Still hanging on. Being so damn stubborn is the only reason we ain't gonna resuscitate these flatline hearts. Right or wrong, we're gonna rip us both apart. Love only got us so far. 20 years down the road into permanent broken hearts. Goodbye, my love. I wish you the best. I'm thankful for the good times. I'm so sorry for all the rest. Why can't you see what it is I see? Please, oh, please stay with me. Love, it only got us so far. 21 years down the road into permanent broken hearts. Goodbye, my love. I wish you the best. I'm thankful for the good times. I'm so sorry for all the rest. I'm thankful for the good times. I'm so sorry for all the rest.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
What a way to wrap this episode up.
Thank y'all so much. Cheers,
I
by
sit.
the way.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I was sitting here and I was thinking, I was wrapping this episode up, and God, this has been the first episode we've done in quite a while. We had to step away from it for a minute and deal with some stuff. All of our personal lives kind of took off, and we did different things. And Gage got married, and Kendall and I moved in together, and there's been a lot happened since the last time I wrapped up a podcast, and get a little emotional sitting here thinking about the last time. So, hell, I'm gonna get right into it.
First interview.
First interview
That-
back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
man.
a way.
Hell yeah.
What a way. Thank you, Memphis, man. Thank you so much for coming on and
Hell yeah.
bullshitting with us. Give us an hour or 2 hours of your time. We really appreciate it. And if you're listening to this, go listen to Dark Skies. It's one of the first albums come out this year, and it's definitely going to be in the top 10 list. If it's not, you just don't know good music. That's all I can say to you. Man, thank you all so much for listening to this. Thank you all so much for showing us the support. We saw the metrics of what happened last year, and we saw how much you guys loved us and how much you guys wanted us to come back. And that's really what brought us back. We love you guys so much. We love all the listeners of this so much. Go stream Dark Skies. Man, take yourself out. Buy yourself a quesadilla. Drink yourself a margarita. Blow up your TV. Do all that good shit. I love you all so much, and thank you all so much for listening. Gage, take it away, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Memphis, thank you so much for coming on here and chatting with us, bullshitting. You know, Tracer and I, we never know how any of these interviews are going to go. For the listeners out there, none of this is scripted, as you should probably already know by now. We go down very many crossroads.
Ray Wylie Hubbard tangent was not
Yeah.
scripted tonight.
Yeah.
Nice little 35-minute segment there.
Yeah, like Tracer said, go out, get you some quesadillas. I had Mexican for the past 2 nights, some Mexican food, and it was delicious. One of the best decisions I've made here recently for the new year. But yeah, I mean, love yourself, love one another, love somebody new. Go meet a stranger this week. If you're out at a restaurant or fast food and you see someone sitting alone, go up, ask them how their day is, make somebody smile. I know a lot of people aren't into physical touch, but give somebody a hug, go shake somebody's hand, and make the world just a little bit brighter around you. We love you. We support you. All of our DMs, inboxes, whatever you want to call it, are always open. Reach out if you ever just need someone to talk to. We're always here. With that being said, I've had all I can handle. I hope you're happy now. Good night.